over some of the basic formulas and functions that you can do in Google Sheets or any Excel spreadsheet application. Really, I'm going to go over a couple basic ones, and then once you know how to get to those options, then hopefully you would be able to search or find any formula or function that you needed later on. But before we get started here, I want to just go over what I have. I just created a shopping list. I put some items, their price, and the amount. And so right away, I see that these prices need to be numbers. So by highlighting them, I can now turn them into numbers by just going up here and formatting them as currency. So that's just an easy way to know that, okay, I am working with price or dollars. And then because some of these items I'm getting multiples of, I can't just add up my total price. I need to do the equation to figure out how much it's going to cost to buy those items. And so I need to be able to take this price times the amount and then maybe get a new total over here. So I'm going to put total right here. And so I'm going to hit the equal sign, and it's this easy. I'm going to do equals, clicking on this cell because I know I want to utilize the numbers in this cell. So B2 is the cell that is there. And then I'm going to do times, which would be Shift 8 or the asterisk. And then now I'm going to click in C2 because this is where I'm going to get that amount. And so B2 times C2, and I'm going to hit return. I'm going to X this out right now because I don't want to overwhelm you with all those numbers. But basically, this just now gives me that equation of the 2.92 times 1 equals 2.92. You wouldn't believe the amount of times that I will come and look at people's information and they need help and they don't understand why things aren't working. And I look at their total and they just have the static number there. And so because we have this as an equation, if I decide, oh, I'm making a lot of sandwiches this week, I need more than one loaf, I need 3 loaves, I can now come in here, type 3, hit return, and then my total will instantly update. And so by having that formula, it's going to update automatically. So now I can click where this blue circle is and my mouse changes to crosshairs. I'm going to drag it down. That's called your fill handle. And so now that is automatically going to make that same formula for each row. And if we click in here, we can see it'll change from row 2 to being row 3, row 4, row 5, row 6, and so on. And so you can see that it's doing that math. And if I decide, okay, we have a lot of company coming over, I need 2 gallons of milk. And I hit tab a lot when I'm done typing information to kind of move over to the next cell. I can see that it's already calculated that and updated that. And so now I want to know the grand total of what I'm going to spend on my groceries. And so I can go right here and say total. I'm just going to tab over the tab key on my keyboard. And then now I could, if I wanted to, just do equals this plus this plus this plus this. But that's going to take me a while, especially if you had more than 10 items. So this is where we're going to switch from using a formula that we create to a function that's already defined. And it was starting to pop up here as a shortcut, but where I like to get the functions from is this little button right here. This is your functions. If you drop it down, the top most common one is going to be the sum function. So I'm going to click on that. And then I'm going to click and highlight and drag and select everything I want to add up and then hit return. And it's now going to add up everything in this total. And so it's automatically going to keep updating too. If I decide I no longer want 3 loaves of bread, I just need to go back to 1. I can click 1 and then update my total here by hitting tab. And then it automatically updates my overall total. So these numbers all keep updating because you've used your formulas or your function. So that's your sum function. I thought it might be interesting to see what was the most expensive thing that we got. So I'm just going to do max. And so if I go right here and do the functions and go to max, and then highlight again, I have to remember to not get that total. I just need to get those 10 items or 9 items or how many I have here, highlight them and hit return. And so the max amount I spent was the milk, getting the 2 gallons of milk, because that's the highest price. And then there's one that's going to be min. That's very easy to get to over here. Same thing, I'm going to highlight what I want to calculate from, hit return. and the lowest item was the $1.62, the getting the bananas. I can also do average. This is good if you're looking at scores and things for students. And so I'm going to go here and go to average, highlight all of my prices again, and now I have the average. And so just knowing that those things are out there, and if you look, there are so many different functions that you can utilize, and it goes so deep and lots of different things. But now that you know the basics of how to put them into a cell and how to kind of select the data that you want, I'm hoping that you can go find any other information or any other step-by-step steps to find ways to use those different formulas and functions.